Want to do research, I want to find ways to have conversations about sexuality that do not center the erotic. They are not meant to be seductive, they are meant to be informative. Raised in Kenya, which is a very socially conservative country that has a lot of contradictions. Like even as a child, there was messages in school that abstinence is the only option with CRE. Like sex was taboo, but at the same time, I saw even in the newspapers advertisements, sexualized advertisements, plays about sex. Like it just seemed like, it seemed hypocritical. I didn't know what to think. On one hand, you're being told not to think about these things. You're not supposed to do them. The conditioning is very severe. But then on the other, it's being pushed in your face. Music videos, advertisements, even local, not just Western. So I was confused. And I think that the game plan for the conditioning on the school side, on the parental side, on the religious side, is to keep us out of trouble, to protect us, essentially. But I don't think that objective is achieved. I think people get into situations that they don't know how to handle, and not just pregnancy, not just infections. I mean emotional, psychological damage.
How can we balance how much they should know at different ages of development, and them being sexually conscious and I don't know if the word is liberated, might be a bit political, but yeah, for them to own their sexuality?
Yeah, okay, that's a very complex question because on the one hand, minors, children are a protected population. We don't want to expose them to things that they can't handle. We don't want to set them on the wrong path. So that's why I have like a lot of empathy for like some of the attitudes that are taken in Kenya, although I think the straightforward moral explanation doesn't cover why certain information is withheld. I think there's more to that story. Yeah, so with children, I've been doing some research, even backing up like my research project, which I'm going to talk about in a bit. And across the board, when people do studies on the curriculum in Kenya and the policies surrounding sex education with young people, there's a contradiction with what is taught in schools and what is recommended by policy experts and by scientific research. For example, HIV and AIDS, like the UN, even independent bodies like scientific bodies in Kenya, health boards, they've been doing research that's showing that young people need to be taught about condoms, young people need to be taught about consent, and they need to be taught about relationships, even outside the sexual, emotional regulation, conflict resolution. That's not showing up in our syllabuses. One of them is like there's the moral issue, people are against it, but there's also not really like the skills taught to trainers. Teachers themselves don't even know these concepts. The problem is so systemic. I can talk so much about the way the syllabus, the curriculum in Kenya has deteriorated. There was a time when there was philosophy alongside CRE and there were options you could take. That's been done away with. It's only CRE which is compulsory all the way from, I think they say grade 1 now to form 4. There's not really like that injection of critical thinking. Yeah, but what can I say? Like teaching kids about sex, like it's a tricky subject because inherently the kids that we see who are exposed to sexual material, it's not in a good context. Like if you see a kid, like for example, acting out sexual scenarios, talking in a certain way, something's gone wrong. So as a society, we are very far from both adults who are supposed to be teaching children. They themselves do not have those tools. Why would you want to give someone power to teach certain things when they don't understand themselves? And how do kids get exposed to sex? Like, what's that question? Like, is it abuse? Is it incest? What is the line between the sexual self of the child versus contamination by the adult world? Stuff like domestic abuse, stuff like sexual knowledge. And then the second part is going to be this hybrid of my work and the work of these women, talking about from our perspective, what have I gone through, what do I believe, I'm going to be part of that workshop as well. And so like it's not necessarily a conversion of academic research into fiction. It is placing them side by side. How do these two facets of knowledge interact with each other? The creative is not just, the fictional is not really a departure from reality. It's reality placed into a different medium. And that's what I want to communicate with my thesis.
Thank you.
Close.
Mentally, lots of pleasure can consume you, even to a point of foolishness, like paying for an Uber for a man who hasn't made you come, though he made you bleed, to block the spring and the well of your creativity. This is what pastors say, kuiba nyota. Don't forget, dear child, sex is good. It is meant for your pleasure, not just the man's alone.
Mimi sasa nashinda.
Excellent salsa. I've always wanted to be a lawyer. Come on, man. Lawyer, fry cook. My parents would kill me. Take it down 1,000. Now, if you want to stuff Peters for a living, hey, it's your life. Yeah. Maybe I'll wait and see how I do on my test. If I flunk, they'll ask me to leave anyway, right? Right. And if I don't? And the Portuguese fans are going to savor this. Anybody plays, he is an absolute giant. Consolation to Spain. Congratulations to Portugal. As the incredible Cristiano Ronaldo story moves on another level once again. For myself, Conor McNamara, from Andy Hinchcliffe in Munich. A very good night. Portugal, Nations League champions for 2025.
underwear and my socks. And then here I got all my dresses. This is the custom drawer that I got. It's like the clear one, and then you open the drawer, it starts falling apart. One thing about me, I really do not like reading directions. Over the cat bed. The cat bed is Kika approved and Leo approved. They love it. And she is loving it. I'm actually about to do my 60, but once I realize the year is halfway over, I start to stress out. I basically just start to spiral because I'm like, there's all these goals I set for myself that I didn't hit, thought I was gonna hit, achieving this goal, achieving. How I combat that, I've been starting to do this thing called a 6-month goal check-in. I just go back on my 2025 goal list and I go through them, and instead of just stressing about it, I take action and do something about it. And even though there's a ton of goals on here that I can see right now I didn't hit, now I can actually take action on it and do something about it. And something I learned as someone who was very, very anxious before, anxiety stems from inaction. And the reason why you feel anxious about not reaching your goals, having a bunch of goals that you're not even close to hitting, this and that. If you're real and did it with me, I am so proud of you. And instead of being anxious that there's only 6 months left of this year, take it as an opportunity, okay? Now that you have
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's so good. Look, your camera is clean.
Wasichana waliokuwa na anasa.
It knows its job.
Bye.
Whatever you did, you guys.
Is like communication, nini, what are you involved, but so that we make sure you're not cheating with her idea.